So in this video we're going to add the quantity select on our product screen, and I want that quantity select to show the number of items that are in stock. So if there's 5 items, then when we hit quantity you'll only be able to select up to 5 of them. Alright, so let's go into our product screen. That's where we're going to implement this, and quantity is going to be part of our component level state. So we're going to be using use state, and let's set this. We'll set this right at the top here. So we'll say const, and we want quantity, so qty, and then set quantity, use state, and it's going to be 0 by default. Now down, let's see, we want to go, we have our first row that has the image, our second row has the product info, and we want to go to our third row. And let's go under, let's see, so we have this out of stock or in stock list group item, and then we have our button. So we want to go in between those two. Now we only want to show this if it's in stock. So let's say, let's open up some curly braces and say if product dot, we'll say count in stock, if that's greater than 0, then, so we're going to use just double ampersand because there's no else, so this is a shorter way to do this. Then we want to show a list group, or a list group item rather. So list group dot item, and in this list group item we're going to have a row, we're going to have a call with the label, so qty, and then under that we'll have another column, and in this column we're going to do a form dot control, and this is going to have a few props. So we're going to do as a select, because we want this to be a select box. The value is going to be qty, so that's part of our component state, and then we need to have an on change. So when we fire this on change, let's pass in, let's do an arrow function, pass in our event, and we want to call set qty because we're changing that part of the component state, and we're passing in whatever is selected, so that's going to be e.target.value, and then we can close up that form control. Now inside this form control we need to have our quantity options, and instead of just hard coding it, we're going to, like I said, have whatever the amount of the quantity is. So we're going to use a little bit of JavaScript to do this. Let's have an array here, and I'm going to use the spread operator and then the array constructor, and take the product dot count in stock, and I want the keys from that. So product count in stock, and then outside of the parentheses we'll say keys. And what this is going to do is I want, if there, let's say the count in stock is 5, I want to end up with an array that's like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 with 5 values. So that's what I'm doing here. And then we can map through this. So let's say dot map, and we'll just call this X, and we'll have an arrow here, and what I want to display is an option. Now this option is going to have a key because we're creating a list, so we're going to need a key, and we're going to set this to whatever X is plus 1. The reason for that is excuse me, the array starts with 0, and we don't want 0 through 4, we want 1 through 5, for example. So the value of this is also going to be X plus 1. And inside here, inside the option, the text that displays will also be X, whatever X plus 1 is. So that should do it. Let's save, and just check down here. X is not defined. That should be, so dot map. All right, let's wrap this arrow function to this. I think I'm missing something somewhere. Oh, I have this just right in the output. We need to wrap this in curly braces. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look, and we have a quantity. Now there's 10 of these, and if we look at the PlayStation, let's look at product details, product, and let's look at count in stock, and you'll see there's 10. If I go back to, let's see this, there's 10 of those as well. I just want to see if there's something that has something other. So this has 3, and if we look at the product, count in stock is 3. All right, good. And if it's not in stock, I don't think we have any items that are not in stock. Oh, this one is. So this one you can see doesn't even have a quantity select because it's not in stock. So now for the add to cart here, we want to create a submit handler on that button. So let's go down to the add to cart, and we want to add an on click to this. And when this is clicked, we're going to call, say, submit handler. Or let's call it add to cart handler. And we're going to go up here. So I usually put the handlers below the use effect. So right here, let's do const add to cart handler. And what I want to do is go to the cart page, but I want to have some parameters. I want the whatever the product ID is, and then also the quantity as a query string. So we need to use match for that. We're already destructuring match from our props. So do we have history? No, we need history to actually push. So let's pass in here history. And we're going to say history. So props.history.push will just redirect. So we want to redirect to, let's put some backticks in here, /cart, and then we want to go slash and include the ID, which we can get from match.params.id. And then I also want to add on to the end here a query string of qty, and we want to set that to whatever the quantity is, whatever they choose from that box. So let's save that, and now if we go back here and I choose 2 and I hit add to cart, it goes to /cart / the product ID with the quantity of 2, which is what I want. Now we need a cart screen, so I'm going to create that now, and then we'll finish it up in the next video, but let's at least create the screen and the route. So under screens, let's say new file, cart screen.js, and let's generate a component here, and for now just say cart. And let's go to our app.js, and we want to bring in cart screen. Okay, and we'll go down here. Now we want to put the route to it. Let's just copy this down. So the component's going to be cart screen, and the path of this is going to be cart. So it'll be cart / and then ID, but the ID is going to be optional. So we can put a question mark to make this optional, because when we just go to the cart link, it's not going to have any ID in it. So we want to make sure we make that optional. And let's also make this, actually we shouldn't need to make this exact. Let's save that and see what we got down here. Cart screen is not defined. Oops, I misspelled that. Okay, so now we have that route. So if I go here, now you'll see it shows cart. And if I just click on the cart link, it shows the cart screen as well. Now in the next video, I want to handle the cart reducer. So we're going to have a reducer. We're also going to have an add to cart action, and that's going to get the details from the database for that specific item in the cart. It's also going to add it to the cart, which we're going to save in local storage. And then once we do that, we'll start to build out the screen here, which will show all the products in your cart. All right, so we have the next few videos will be based around this whole cart functionality.